Good evening. Uh, well, 2022 is almost over now. Uh, Today is the 23rd of December 2022, so there's 8 days before the year concludes or ends the year 2022. Yeah, I mean, there should, I'm sure there is, I could put up the, the, the time and the date on the video, but I am I have so many gadgets, yeah, and but 99% of the time I've never used them. Even more than 99%. Sometimes I've never used them because there is a void, yeah. There is the attraction to technology, but there is no purpose to having that technology when purchased uh, as an individual, yeah, myself, yeah. So if your mind is somewhere else, some obscure goal, maybe career, maybe I don't know, friendship, and you know, love, marriage. If your mind is sort of here, there, everywhere, you can't really put your like somebody, like playing football. And I used to find whatever for, but then there's in football, there is excitement. You know, there is. There is togetherness, there is team spirit right now, yeah, and more and more and more right now, yeah. So, but then when this uh, football, my understanding of football back in the day, there was a lot of, like a football ground, terrace violence, yeah, and that really left an impression on me. And a lot of people, right, they didn't go to football because all you see on telly is fighting, fighting. Now, my logical mind tells me, why would I want to go put myself harm with whatever for? Where I can't see why you're supporting two teams, and then what? Yeah, I just, yeah. Well, it's drinks and drugs, I'm afraid, you see, yeah, and it's gangsterism as well, and it's just posses, and they say, in America, posses, yeah, or they could say posses anywhere nowadays, you see, 'cause the internet, the information just goes everywhere. And there are other words for it, yeah. So basically, they just like nothing else to do, like, just like, yeah, we're creative, because there is no, I mean, just it's bizarre to me. It's bizarre, and of course, when I was going to school, yeah, I saw all that on telly, and I said, oh, no, no. That's the time when you're most impressionable. You see, yeah, you pick up things, you have likeness for things or dislike for things. Those things that stayed with you for for a long time ahead of your life right now. Yeah, you might change, a direction, or you might have new hobbies, but those impressions, right, they stay with you right now. Yeah. So, but then, football is football. I mean, just like we just had the World Cup and Argentina won. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that much information. I I allow myself to register because if I remember a bit more, yeah, then this video will be like, God, yeah. Because I've learned to self-edit really, to get myself across. Because you can tell when I look at my own video, that's without editing right now, yeah. Things I don't know anything about editing, but there's Canva, the software right now. I've yet to use it now. Downloaded them right now, yeah. So yeah. So tomorrow's Saturday right now, yeah. I don't think there'll be a park run. I think I saw on Twitter, Leicester Group right now, yeah. There's no Sunday park run, but we don't have park run on Sunday, yeah. That's that's Christmas Day, So tomorrow is the 24th, so they might have it, but I don't want to go in the morning and find out so we'll just leave it for a couple of weeks, this week and next week right now, and the following week, yeah, because it just become part of my weekly cycle right now, yeah. It's something you look forward to right now, yeah. You see, you positive vibes, yeah, yeah. Go to parkrun. There are many people go there, hundreds and hundreds of them, yeah, every week right now, yeah, and you feel like, whoa, this is something I want to be part of, because why? There is no threat or there is no violence of any sort. People go, like really want to go there, right? Yeah, and enjoy themselves and be part of a sort of a progressive and a productive and meaningful and something wholesome, if you like, yeah. You can use that kind of word, terminology right now. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that yeah, it's good because it doesn't deter you. Would you go yourself, and there's like dogs fighting? Would you go to yourself? Excuse me, Mr. Dog and Miss Dog, please don't fight, because both dogs can come back at you right now because they're they're other lives, yeah, but they're not humans, yeah. So they might think, well, they can't. Maybe he's after us, yeah, yeah, and they might attack you together, right? So I'm just putting an analogy. Would you go somewhere? Why would you do that? Well, yeah, I mean, so that's why it's this natural thing right now. So that means I never had any inclination to do follow any sports because those impression left me, yeah, as abiding impression, yeah. So yeah, I mean, who knows? I might have been a footballer myself. I mean, it's just this early impression. I'm afraid it's those things. School, physical education. People like those molding years, right? Yeah, and that puts you through, right? Yeah, your career path or your ambition or your hobbies and those things, right? It's never nobody's born like with degrees or education. They learn when they're here on earth right now, yeah, as they grow up to be young people right now, yeah, and remember start learning speaking. That's how it is. Human beings, it's just, that's what we do right now, yeah. We learn things, yeah, and we apply things, what we learn right now. I say from sports, all manner of things, right? Yeah, like our daily chores, we go for a walk, for a swim, and we have to first learn how to walk, yeah, and then we can learn how to swim, yeah. But then before we need, we're too young, to go by yourself. You need other people around you to look over you, right? And keep your safety in mind and that sort of thing right now. So these are the things missed opportunity, I'm afraid, is that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, my point, not to put it to find a point to all this right now. Yeah, so I can't really force myself to like something that after all this time right now. You know, I just suddenly say, oh, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna play ping pong, yeah, or racquetball because I don't know anybody who plays racquetball or ping pong right now. Yeah, the game, right? Ping pong right now. But it's a fantastic game these are right now. But you see, for you to build a passion, yeah, you really need, those liking for things, yeah, and that likeness become, more something more stronger, something stronger feeling you have for these things right now. And then you can wake up in the morning, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like I go with my park run and I have no issue. I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning every Saturday, wash and brush right now, yeah. Quarter past at I leave, 15 minutes I'm good there, I'm good there half an hour, this stretching, this, that, make sure everything's okay, yeah. Not leave it to the last minute right now, yeah. Check my watch, everything right now, yeah, and and do my 5K 3 kilometer, yeah. So I've just done my Saga BFR training, right? Yeah. I would have recorded, yeah, but I don't want to take the SIM card, sorry, no SIM card, SD card from this phone, my Oppo A74, the one I'm recording from right now. Yeah. I put it on the Samsung Galaxy J17 2017, yeah, and then record it and then upload because finally I've got my Wi-Fi connecting now, right now. I think there was some issue right now. Yeah, these things happen. It's technical, right? I've yet to link my printer with Wi-Fi right now. I'm going to do that now. This Christmas. I'll do it in the New Year now when the office is open right now. Yeah, I'll phone the company because it's got 2 years warranty guarantee with it. You know, 1 year you get the manufacturer and very extended warranty right now as well. I got that as well right now. Yeah, so. Yeah, so I they guide me before, like on WhatsApp, right? Yeah, and they said okay, because it's basically using the smart technology to do printing, things like that, right? Yeah, you really need to use your functionality, right? Get things the existing technology I have, yeah, so I'm just going to use it, yeah. But I find you say, if I put my mind in one direction right now, yeah, I forget everything else. I have nobody to prompt me, and I don't need prompting right now. But I find I spend too much time, like, just first to have a balance, these things. I've got to do my exercise 5 days a week, my BFR training. That I have to do. This is my third week, yeah, continuously, yeah. And I'm seeing the benefit now, right? Yeah, I feel it, yeah. Today I was going to do some cardiovascular, go to the gym because tomorrow they close a bit early in the afternoon, a couple of hours early. But it's weekend hours right now. But they close about I think 4 o'clock right now. My gym, the local gym I go to. And I'm just going to make sure I'm going to. But then I went to shop, your Christmas bag and all that. By the time I came home, it was raining when I left, and when I came home, and then I thought, hold on, you build a sort of feeling for these things like that, and usually you're going to go out again. And so when I started this journey, right now, yeah, some months ago now, right now, yeah, when I first came across BFR training, I knew I have to go the way I feel. At the time, I was doing so many things, learning subject and all that, you know, job is courses and all that. So, it's never a perfect time to do anything. I said, look, this is so important to me right now because I've seen on when I was in the gym Wednesday. So yesterday was Thursday. So that's the rest day right now. Yeah, you feel these things now. Yeah, So I said, look, your body needs to because I was doing really heavy strength training right now. Yeah, and I wish I could have them videoed or taken picture, but these things right now. Yeah, unless you have friends, it's a shame because you it would be so easy. I can take members with me free because it's part of my membership package, or you can make it. But I'm afraid people they got the smart technology, and when you go to the gym right now, nobody say anything, and body language. You just look in the ceiling, and that way I'm going that way right now. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, and you know, why I understand things when you introduce yourself to somebody as hello mate, how are you doing? Yeah, that's right. Like, take some picture. I take some picture of you. This stuff. Nobody's interested in anything. Yeah. It's like it feels like they have a ton of golds in their house, and even if they look at you, you might take them from where they have their gold. What kind of attitude is that in today's world right now? Yeah, it's about connection. People's connection. If you don't connect, you have nothing. Whether you're individuals, groups, sporting activities, uh, business activity, government, you name it. If you don't connect, it, that's it. There's no, so and the most crucial connectivity is the human connectivity. Because behind all these technology and advances, it's those people that make it for themselves and society yeah. So, but it's the crucial element. Like we have just watching a video a little while ago about today, about Japan, they're having their birth rate and all that. Well, that's true, yeah. A lot of societies having issues, because in the beginning, right after the Second World War, the death and destruction, yeah, continental wide, all over the world right now, yeah. So they need to get back on their feet and they put all their effort, yeah, it's rebuilding, which is laudable and everything and fantastic and, yeah, it's historic and all that, yeah, and there are other words, positive words for it. Yeah. So, but then they fall into the same trap, yeah, consumption. you know, consume, just going to, yeah, me enjoying working 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week, not getting paid, national honor. Yes, I'm not against honor, yeah. What I'm saying, shouldn't you be paid for all the hours you work? When you work 40 hours, right, yeah, it's hard work, right? Yeah. But if you work 50, then 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, yeah, and you see, you're only human being. Because you can test yourself these things like yourself. Take notes, yeah, at the back of your mind, or written note, or audio note, or video, recording how I feel. You know, and of course, this effort goes into your family life, your everything that you do, right? Yeah. And of course, the culture over there in the Paris is drinking and late night, and the whole cycle of you know uh, nightlife, if you like, yeah. And of course, then you come home late, and so simple things in life, yeah. Uh, Family togetherness, they take a back seat. So you reach your late 20s, early 30s, still single, mid 30s still single, late 30s single, early 40s single, and the list goes on and on, yeah. And eventually you find yourself, the more you improve, the more you earn, the more you progress, because the companies, they need to make profit, the corporations, yeah, and they give you the opportunity, but you're still far from your ultimate desires to have your a family of your own, you know, and hopefully with a cat as well. Just putting it in context, yeah, and not to go into too much of a, you know, linear information and all that. Yeah. Just a sort of my day-to-day thinking right now, yeah. And well, these are the simple things in life right now, yeah. Which goes to show that you got to put yourself first, your family, relationship, yeah. So network, you meet people, I other meet people, and that's how people connect, you see, but unfortunately, here in the Western countries right now, yeah, in Europe, where we are now in England and East Middle and Leicester. Yeah, well, yes. Thank you, East Middle and Leicester, for water. Yeah. So today I'm sitting right now, yeah, and I put some stuff, yeah, to get my camera height. This back is my kitchen, yeah. So I just want to relax and take this video, and I can only stand right, yeah, and next to this exercise bicycle. So yeah, so it's those simple things, yeah, and society, and same thing in happening in larger nation like China, yeah, they're having issues. It's simple mathematics, yeah. I mean, if you have one child, well, that child will grow pampered, yeah. And then if you discriminate against girl child, because you favor a boy child, boy versus girl right there. Yeah? And obviously, you have a shortage of, there'll be gender gap there. Yeah, there'll be less female child to male child. Yeah. So really, China is a massive nation, right? And they're having issues and putting. I mean, it's just completely messed up, right? Yeah. It's just because basically you hone yourself to to just produce and produce and produce. Yeah. But then the most basic aspect, yourself, your health, your well-being, if you neglect all that, you can't go to your doctors, your dentist, you need your manager's permission, and oh yes, boss, yeah. Well, yes, it looks nice, aesthetically, and everybody, there's order, and people are following rules, and everybody's so like, clockwork, and so friendly, and very everything's working right. Yeah, but at what cost? I'm not saying people should just suddenly jump up and down. No, yeah, I forget all that, mate. Yeah, working this way, that way. Yeah, that way. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like, you as an individual, as a human being, right now, yeah, you're 20 years old, 22 years old, 24 years old, 26 years old. Somebody told you, don't settle down, don't get have family, nothing, right? Don't form friendship. Just think about money and you know positions and all that. Yeah, night work, day work. Why are you doing all this? Because you see advertisement to buy consumer goods. Consumer goods. Yeah, and you buy these things, and have these holidays, and who cares? 2 weeks in the sun, and you're back to your routine, right? And the financial system just keeps you there because they know year after year they can give you financial products and services. That's how they make their money. You know? So you're in there, they're using you, and eventually you find yourself by yourself. So many people, you see company directors, chairman uh, in Japan, like I keep referencing very advanced nations, yeah. But other nations have simulation. But the reason I've mentioned Japan in my video a number of times, yes, I have, is because Japan is one of those success stories right now. Yeah, they came from the ashes of Second World War and they rebuilt. Yeah, that's why I have a perspective about things. Yeah, when you put your human, the mind, the human being. Yeah, if you condition your mind to focus on, uplifting yourself and, yeah. Of course, other nations do the same thing in Europe, and because there was one of the epicenter of the Second World War and all that. Yeah. So these are the things, yeah, and same in China as well. They had their civil war and everything else, yeah. So yeah, so but then you see, these nations, right, yeah, they get carried away with those things, yeah, and they're building cities in China, or they built cities in China. There's nobody lives there now. Whatever for, I could go into it, yeah, but then I mean, it's best it's not that difficult to understand right now. Yeah, they have to have the targets. They have to get people employed, meaning the corporations, the people, businesses. Yeah, and they have their ideological baggage to take with them, and keep people. Otherwise, if people are unemployed, they have no money. Then they'll so the society uh, is unhappy, and all these things, yeah. And it's the first time in human history I think I can think of right now. They're building cities, and leave it idle. I'm shocked. So look here, look, it's a massive city, and nobody lives there. And whatever reasons, yeah, and all that resources wasted for what? If some of that money was put into healthcare, yeah, public transport, yeah, uh, good education, you know, you know, uh, those things, right, yeah, that matters, right, yeah, then society would have progressed. But no, it's the bottom line for the companies, the corporations, right? That's they have the influence, yeah. They just go like, oh, excuse me, we need that type of rule right now, yeah. And then it's, oh, yeah, yes. So it's basically an oligarchy system right now, yeah. And we're part of the oligarchy system, well, the whole world, more or less, I think. There might be some society, yeah, but I don't want to go into all that now. But we live in an oligarchy system, right? So same thing in Russia. It's a massive country, but if you look at the standard of living, it's well, and plus there's a war going on there, and war means what, yeah. Uh, it's it's a destructive path, yeah. So, and the current leadership, yeah, they retire or they're put out of office, either through elections or whatever, yeah. I'm not saying Russia. I'm just saying generally right now. Yeah? So it'll be somebody else. The baton will be given to somebody else, either democratically or otherwise. And these folks, they just come in, and so while society need direction, they need guiding, yeah. They need stability right now. They need to clear focus. They need to have. They can rely on rules, regulation, law, trust in government. Right now, their welfare will be looked after. They'll be cared for. Right now, yeah. They can walk the street without fearing of anything. Yeah. Because people, I mean, the whole system is just like just oh yeah, yeah. I mean, just a whole a little few people keep the whole society on their toe. Like you don't want to go late at night. Well, that means you need taxis, don't you? Uber. Yeah. What was video I watched? In fact, a few days ago, right now. Yeah, this lady. She went to. She's works in London, and a YouTuber. She's a new YouTuber. She only started last year. And she said, "Oh no, I use Uber when I leave work. Yeah, I budget everything accordingly because I don't want to. But then, you see, you're putting people away to spend money, which they could have used that for their own benefit right now. Yeah, why couldn't they take a bus? Yeah. So those people who you're scared of, yeah, they're there, because they are let loose, yeah. So really, and who profits from all this? Corporation, security, yeah. Whereas the easiest thing would be to do, well, if you do crime, you do time. If you do it again, we take you out of circulation. That's it. I mean, that's logical justice. I don't. When I say take a circulation, I don't mean like anything like terrible. Yeah, you know, tie them up forever or whatever. I'm just like giving more example. Not like that. Basically, they don't. I just got a TikTok message from somebody. Yeah, yeah. So basically, so that person you could walk the street. I mean, so you see, it's those companies, those corporations, right, the establishment, yeah, they keep it. Why couldn't you work in your own neighborhood right now? Yeah, from work, you could walk back to your home right now. Yeah, and you know, so this, if you look in how these things work, right, yeah. So why would I be scared of anybody? I dare not wear an expensive watch because I know, I've aspired to these things before. Yeah. One of the reasons why I ended up the way I did is in Leicester, yeah, is because when I was in London, right, you feel the body language. People want to make stuff from you. And these people are left in the community, and you don't know because of data protection who these people what they have done. Are they just like, oh yeah, and everybody seems to accept all these, right? It's society. I said, no, it's not society. It's nothing to do with these people. You're creating a system so big businesses they can make money, sell products and services. That's all. Yeah. And I'm not bringing a village mentality. Yeah, maybe back in the day, yeah, or dreams of my father. One of the videos I made about how our family came to Britain and the British Raj and the independence of India and all that, and you know, so that's so you could have context, and otherwise people you can go on TV and who this person, what is he saying. I used to see some video, and you can't make reference to this person at all. He's saying things, yeah. I said, yeah, but can you give me some geographical idea where you're from, where your families are from, or how, you know, because I can't really say who you're speaking about, yeah, what are you talking about? Because I understand what he's saying, yeah. But no, 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 we can't do that. It's well, what if you can't do that? Then I can't really figure out what you're trying to imply, and mean right now. Yeah. So I have to understand these things right now. Yeah. I'm not saying that you should put up in a post and say, "Who's your great granddad?" Yeah, no, well, yeah, yeah, mate, yeah, hello, mate, yeah, oh yeah, just a samurai, yeah, oh my great great grandfather, if there's fighting a hedgehog over there, and your grandfather was looking that way right now. I'm just putting. I'm sure the Japanese people wouldn't mind. I feel like, yeah. So nothing there at all. But basic, like yeah, somebody walks up to you, they just stare at you like this. There. So, what are you staring at somebody for? Yeah. Yeah, because they know it doesn't mean anything right now. Yeah. So I decided to say, look, yeah, you have to really get along with your own situation. You can't really pay too much attention to these things, right? Yeah. And everybody wants attention. See, that's what I mean. Everybody wants attention, right now. One reason why I'm making this video because if I speak to somebody, I was messaging this guy last 2 days and never replied. You see how things are? It's when it suits these people, they will get back to you. That's it, yeah. So that's how bad it is, yeah, on a personal level. I mean, it's Friday night. I could have, it's weekend, a week before the year, 2020 finishes. I could have gone out or something, so, anything, yeah. But no, that's not meant to happen. So everybody's busy. So of course, hindsight is 2022. I never knew this day would happen right now. Because how could I know these things? I mean, you, so that I one find myself by myself living in a one bedroom flat, yeah, in the middle of Leicester and still single. So because I don't go into a subject of these things, whether one is single or living, uh, you know. in a family situation or whatever, because I know these things, it's a personal thing, and you have to accomplish those feats, yeah, getting together with another human being, right now, yeah, married and all that sort of thing, right now, yeah. It's something you have to do yourself. Nobody can do it for you right now, yeah. So I know what I have to do. I have to move out of this flat because everything's just messed up here. You never want to live flats, yeah, because you can't really be yourself, yeah. It's one issue, another issue, just, yeah. And I, being an optimist by nature, I never paid much heed to this sort of thing right now. Just sort of carry on. I could have moved long time ago from these places right now. But then the law, the state agent right now, yeah, they want people who are working, or the rent is paid by way of you earning money, yeah. So that's how the system works, like more or less, yeah. I need a different property, ground floor property, and I have the front door to myself, my own, meaning a small house, so I don't have to kowtow to people every month, my, 15 kind of, you know, bag and boost, my, lager, yeah. All right. Well, I'm not prepared for that sort of thing, I'm afraid to say. I don't, I mean, how do I deal with a situation like that? I just, so then it's really ruining your day, like that. It happens so many times. So simple thing, you want to go out for a jog, you want to go, yeah, on a bicycle, and it just creates situation, yeah, and eventually you find out that one day people will look and say, we don't want to live like this anymore. Why? I'm going to wake. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm just going to go that way. Why would I have to be content with all this? Yeah. And a lot of people, I'm afraid, as soon as you mention the word tower block right now, yeah, or flats, they might live as a temporary accommodation or stopgap accommodation, but eventually they aspire to live in a house, yeah, because your privacy, like on a Sunday, you want to, gardening or something, and I was going to get a boxing bag, yeah, and so you see, they don't cost that much money, and you can do your thing, not to spend so much time in gym. So what I'm trying to do now, you see, yeah. So um, after Christmas, yeah, not New Year's Day, but the following day, because it's New Year's Day, I'm gonna go out jogging, and I'm gonna start really jogging outdoor now, right now, yeah. So tomorrow morning, right now, yeah, it's the New Year and everything, so New resolution. So I am really things are happening now because when I went to the gym on Wednesday and today is Friday, so it's 1 day gap right now. Yeah, because I find I'm not a very spontaneous person. Right, I prepared myself to go to do some cardio workout at the gym right now. Yeah, but then I had to go into town, drop some book first because it was raining, and then I had to do some sort of shopping and all that. Yeah, some of the shops are closing early right now. Yeah, and then I come back. Oh, I'm going to go out again. No, no. So it's just the way I feel. Before I used to force myself to do things, yeah. And then eventually, why am I doing all this right now? But this time is different right now. Believe me, it's different now. Yeah, because I have things I need. You know, you don't have to overdo things. Yeah. You can just give yourself 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. It's been already 3 weeks. I've been using the BFR strap, the Bluetooth version. Yeah. So you said 3 months, you see, yeah, and when I was doing exercise an hour ago, I mean, really, I can feel like way, it's happening, yeah. And that's how it should be because if yeah, that if you put too much pressure right now, yeah, it is to like, in the beginning, you say, my God, 4 5 days and it's paining. So you've really overdone it right now. You really don't want to mess about those, like that because you don't know what damage you're going to do to yourself. And once the damage is done, then you'll have issues, So, yeah. So, so about, single subject YouTube channel, dedicated channel right now, yeah. I'm going to have to, for now, I just record my day-to-day activities the way they are. But first thing, I have to get my act right, my cardio workout. Yeah, get my bicycle, everything, move, get a job of some description, right, move out of this building right now. And I know if I put my money into that, I'll somehow get the money somewhere, yeah, work somewhere, and whatnot, and get the equipment. And then I'll the simple thing, wake up in the morning, and then I'll find out I can't. I've done this before in this very place right now, yeah. Bought cars these several times right now, yeah. And but the most basic things you need, yeah, is like when you wake up in the morning, you can go out for a jog, for a cycle, without all this hassle, yeah. And your insurance is like your car is outside, and those things, right, they matter because you can just do your thing, right, yeah. And today's world, I mean, every day you see things, yeah, possibilities, like, yeah. So video somebody uh, working remote from Bali online for a week, and they come back to England, right, to London, yeah. So I just going to Bali in Indonesia, yeah. So it's a fantastic holiday destination. A lot of YouTubers and go there, yeah, because the weather, yeah, the surrounding, the exotica, the food, everything, and you're working there and you're making a living, and the following week you're back to your homestead, yeah, the place where you live normally, right now, yeah, or the country where you live normally, yeah, and it's about within the space of 1 week, yeah, yeah, you know. So I visualize myself from this one. So okay, I could be in such a destination, yeah, and do my own thing, and loving it. Yeah, I just, yeah, I just need to relax more, bit more, not too much, yeah. To, so because you gotta keep alert, right? I mean, believe me, nothing is for certain in this day and age, right? So you have to make sure that yeah, that your perspective, you have always a backup plan about things. One thing doesn't work, and then so another thing, right now, yeah. So I went to my mobile phone service provider, and I'm due for an upgrade, but I've got a phone I need for the time being right now, the Oppo A74, and I'm not going to go to that route. Yeah, I don't need a phone now, yeah, and but I'm just want to because my debt report I finished about 6 weeks ago now, 5 weeks ago now, I think, yeah, 5 6 weeks ago now, and so give myself another end of February or so, yeah, next year, fingers crossed, yeah. So that'll be like 3.5 months, yeah, and then by that time it takes a month, 2 months, more tops, yeah, 6 weeks, 2 months to get everything, all the record updated on the system or the credit reference agency. But so actually, by end of January, I'll be start logging into this credit reference agency account, and see, and look at my list of creditors, and say who's actually, you know, updating their records right now. Yeah, if you're going to get financial products, consumer finance, really, yeah. That's what it is, yeah. Normally, if you because people have they borrow money, credit cards, and all that, and they buy their gadgets and they pay the following year, the year after, 18 months to over 2 years now. And now you see, all these things right now. Suddenly felt like, oh. So I was without a smartphone for a year. So I really appreciate this Oppo now. I look after it right now. So just imagine everything, just one thing after another. Information, your phone doesn't work, this doesn't work, laptop is dated, really dated right now. It's a company laptop, so obviously, yeah. So you need to all these things, yeah. So so happy that my Wi-Fi is working right now, yeah. So yeah, so these things matter really. So get the printer to link up with the Wi-Fi once more. I'm gonna phone them, the printing company. I don't know how to name brands because I find naming these things right, yeah, yes, very nice. But first of all, I have to be okay. Working and making money. Then I can name things. Oh yes, lovely phone, yeah. Oh, it's fantastic, yeah, because then yeah, then somebody could else comment online. Oh yeah, I have a good phone as well right now. That brand or that brand right now. But I think you can guess what those brands are. There's a handful of them are leading ones at the moment around the world. So yeah, before you praise anybody, you gotta praise yourself. But that's my philosophy because I seem to be always looking towards just outwardly, but yes, you need to look outwardly. But what about your own basic needs? Yeah, you need to have a source of income to begin with. Yeah, that you have some measure of control how you earn your livelihood. Yeah. So these videos will give me on a day-to-day based guidance and hope and inspiration of my own thoughts, right? Yeah. I mean, you can get inspiration online, yeah, but it's somebody else's success. But I'm picking up information rapidly right now, yeah. But I need to uplift myself, uplift myself right now, yeah. So come out of the situation. So a lot of people, you see, yeah, with similar type of situation myself, they live in places right now, and they just the same routine they go with. You can tell right now, yeah. The system the way working. If you rent a place and you earn benefit, yeah, and then you can't get a bigger place because you have to pay part of that yourself. And how you gonna do that if you don't have an income? Is it? So you're stuck in that type of cycle right now, yeah. And there is, negative influence in that environment, yeah. Other negative, but you can work out what those negatives are right now, yeah. People are selling things, they shouldn't be selling, and that's works until you go to that thing, you have everybody from, you know, prime minister to city cleaner, they do things, like, you know, that's all. And it has been recorded testimony. People who have been high office of the land, in their perhaps in their youth, they've just enjoyed something, here and there. I'm not into that sort of thing. I never have. I have no inclination. But I'm just giving sort of context how things, because people, you're part of the environment. Yeah, and you just follow what's happening right now. People used to smoke before. Now I don't see anybody smoking now. No, I don't see any all day. I never see anybody smoke. And even if rare occasionally you see somebody smoke, yeah, usually nobody was to go near them. So, oh, I'm working sort of a bit further away from there. I can see it smoking. I'm going that way because they don't want to passive smoking. Yeah. And so, because it's the information got through to people. It's look, you're damaging yourself. Why don't you have a different habit right now? You can choose something positive, and yeah. So it was before it was the norm. Everybody smoked. You go to town, no, smoke that is cigarette. Yeah. Everybody smoking right now. But then eventually you find yourself, this is not good for you, and you should give it up. Yeah, yeah, it's remarkable. Like you see, I'm older. I haven't seen anybody today. I just don't. In fact, I don't think about it anymore. Whoever smoke? I've never seen anybody take out a cigarette packet anymore. No, cigarette packet. You walk a mile away from that individual. It's a miles away. No, no, excuse me, mate. That way. Okay. Work in the office over there. You stay there. I don't work that way. I don't know if you're going to interview somebody, because right? Yeah, it's something you would. Why would you want to smoke? It's bad for you. Everybody knows that. It's been known for so long. But then the power of the business, the corporation, they had, yeah, you can have, like, you can cut your hair this way and that way. It's up to man. It's your liberty. Yeah, you see. Instead of saying, oh, no, 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 public health warning, no, no, it's fine. Right to bear arms on cigarettes in America. Yeah, oh, thanks. Like advertisement cowboys, but both are destructive, carrying weapons, yeah, and smoking. They're destructive. And of course, there's a need to carry if you live in the countryside and you're a farmer, or to do with wildlife, then isolated communities, and I can understand those things right now, yeah. Or you need, like wild bear or something, and yeah, so I mean, yeah, those farming basically, or activity that requires you to carry weapon, but not in like when you go out and about and carry, or in America they open carry weapons. I mean, that's just America, yeah. So, and it's so sanitized now, that shooting in America and all that. I think there was an incident in France. I think today or yesterday. I think something I saw on today. But this is so sanitized now. Yeah, that you don't. Somebody could just walk up to. I think it was a community center and a hairdresser or salon. Yeah. And so really, that much information I know, but I think I can work it out what it's all about right now. It's about hate, yeah, maybe the individual who perpetrated the crime in Paris, he feels that life hasn't been good to him, so he blames everybody else. I mean, so yeah, so I really, you want to do your own thing, yeah, your own life, yeah. If you focus on that, your good health, your your needs, yeah, you look after yourself, right? Yeah. And then if you want to contribute something to society, then there's ways of you can contribute, and you belong to a community of people who live in a town or a city or a village, yeah, or a settlement, then that's it, because reality is that, yeah, uh, people, they you can't, just because somebody else is doing well, you can't say, well, they should give some of it to me. Well, they work for their own thing, right? So if you want some of that, yeah, you work for it. You know, I don't see. I mean, how, because that's, if you want success in life or some recognition or your family, your basic needs, yeah, you have to go out and do your own thing. Not look at other people's. Well, yeah. And what the sad thing is that these companies, the big corporation, because I normally I'm a very very sort of independent mind person. I'm just my own thing. I don't scare easily, yeah. But even I find like I want to put my hand away if I wear something expensive like a watch, like a very expensive phone right now, and because I know, because you can tell, but you can tell, people, they, because they get away with it because they come in and out of prison right now, and they just leave that the bubble right now. And yeah, I see it with my own eyes. And here in Leicester, they robbed a shop. I'm not going to say which name. And I was sitting, not sitting. I wanted to buy something there, and some people came in right now, yeah, and the shop assistant, they were shocked and horror. So what's up? I said, well, these people 3 months ago they came in and robbed the place. They just let out of prison same day, and they come and rob the place again. And just when I was coming in, they were leaving. Although I was in, yeah, I could understand the body language, like what's going on. I didn't think there was something wrong here, yeah. But you see what I mean? And the police never came. Eventually, they closed that shop because they can't keep up, this sort of thing, because the police never came. That's a robbery there right now. Yeah. So everything's sanitized or beautified for those folks right now, yeah. Yeah. Because, it's, uh, I mean, prison reform and penal reform back in the 19th century in Britain right now, yeah. Because before it was the opposite. The punishment was so cruel and harsh, yeah. Uh, but then the reform came, everything, yeah, and then more reform came and more reform came. Eventually, the criminals got the system themselves. They run it. Their saying in the public sphere goes how they're treated. And now, all the birds, coming in, making their contribution, make some money out of it. That's it. It's just a handful of people. I mean, why wouldn't you walk the street now with a lovely watch? Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? What would you be scared for? Yeah. Because you don't want to put yourself somewhere or your family, because I've seen these things before. I've seen people making necklaces, yeah, right in traffic. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah. Not here in Leicester, but I've seen in London. It left an abiding impression on me. Yeah. And of course, these people, they just gangs of people, and I say the gangs of people. We're not even allowed to discuss what community they're from or anything. Oh my, they're having a lot, and you don't know who this is. We live in a small country, Britain, right now, and all these people, right, from all around the world. And some of these people, their family would have come from other countries, like mine did right now. And they just seem to and everything just accept it as it is, yeah. And they said, well, no, no. And I know a lot of people, yeah, they go to YouTube and have these YouTube conversation and channel there, and I can see a lot of them, they have the bigoted outlook on life, Yeah, I can tell that now, yeah. And I'm not one of those people right now, certainly not. Yeah. But I'm saying yeah, you know, if you take somebody's necklace, and what happened to these people? They will never wear a necklace again because they know that. Oh my God, no. Yeah. Because the danger, yeah. So really, yeah. And these people, because if you just example out of them, excuse me, yeah, okay, you've done all this. Well, we want to know a bit about you. How did you end up like this? Didn't your mom and dad, no robbery, you know, no, life is too tough, and it's just accepted. Uh, So this is what I'm going to say now. If you want to change things, yeah, you have to be in a position to change things. That's how the democratic system works, in the world. Yeah. So I'm not going to go, oh yeah, yeah, because a lot of these YouTubers people right now, yeah, and there's a like YouTube, I'm you it's recording the video. I hope one day to be a vlogger right now, yeah, but it won't be that long right now. Yeah, as soon as I know I have to do what I have to move out of this building right now because I can't seem to if I can go in the morning, for a jog, yeah, or on my bicycle right now and having all these issues right now, yeah, how am I going to do anything right now? You're wasting your money, and time, yeah, crucial time, right? So if you're going to do something worthwhile, contribute to society, then you have to be in that position right now to do that, man. You're just wasting my breath, yeah. Because I see all these things right now. Yeah. I said, look, why, yeah. Why would you be scared of anything, yeah. And because YouTube is full of people, you can see online right now, yeah. I mean, daily I get requests to join this Instagram subscription, this, that, just, and I know how to sort of, okay, if I need you, I'll get to you, yeah. So, yeah, so, yeah, so I'm just thinking, this is the way of the world, yeah. So the next thing would be for me to read this book. I've got an exam for CSCS card in February, first day of February, 1st of February 2023. And I've done the course, I passed the course right now. Yeah. But in between, I was doing the SIA course right now, so I would have done the test. But then the training provider, um, they took their lordly time to come back to me and all that. So I had to say, I can't wait. So I had to book the course to the SIA. I passed the course in a year. I've done the test, so I'm waiting for the result. But it's Christmas now. So hopefully I'll get the result sometime early next year right now. Once I get the result right now, yeah, when, when I pass right now, yeah, although I have a second option of doing a second time test if I fail, but I can't see how I would fail because I've done so many mock tests on the app, get licensed, yeah, and these things right now, yeah, so many of them right now I've done, so make sure that I pass it because I don't waste too much time here. Then I have to apply, then wait for they do the check everything in a year, and that's just a matter of system. And then once you get the badge, yeah, then the actual badge, yeah, then or maybe 2 weeks before, once you get the number and all that, then you can start applying for jobs, yeah. So it's not good just preparing yourself, and then you could have all these things ready. Your CS card for if you work in a construction site. So if you're a security guard working in a construction site, you need a CSS card to begin with to be on the construction site. Yeah. Then and you just say badge. So I have to get a job. So once I get a job in security, then I can use that money I earn to go to the steady, just like I'm working, and I need to go to a different property. Yeah, and this property is holding me back. Yeah. So I have to be patient for another 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, maybe early summer next year before I can organize myself. Then of course you have to deposit, advance, removable cost, and you got to save the money and all that. So it'll be well into early summer at the least, yeah. So, but I have to be patient. Like life is like that, I'm afraid. You cannot be impatient because if you're impatient, then you'll never get. You just have to make sure you're, like you have to wait until you're ready. Once you get there, then you can take your bicycle, take your action camera, yeah. And I used to have action cameras in that. In fact, I have two of them right now. Then I realized that month after month I'm not using them. In the beginning, I bought them with very expensive cameras right now. But I said, look, yeah, you're not, man. It's been 6 months now. You're not using a year now. You're not using them. Better sell them, because once you're ready, you can buy one and use it. Like these things are done in spontaneously. Like they're not like all these videos. Yeah, I could have done lots of things. Yeah, yeah, lovely, lovely. Yeah, action. I just put one here. Go jogging, cycling, talk, and you go do things. On the go. There's no script involved. Let's put it this way. And so, and then you will have a situation where you build your skills and your huh, rediscover your vocabulary once more. You know, you know. So I used to speak very fast at one point and say so much, and people say, "Oh, hold on, slow down." But then now, I had to slow down to get the thing conversation, come to a sort of productive, outcome. Otherwise, people say, "Oh, they can't." You have to make sure the other person understands it, so you have to listen as well. That's a skill. So listen first, and then put your say and so forth. Yeah, and back and forth. So that's conversation is always a two-way thing. If you try to convey something, you have people to understand you. Right? Yeah. So I have a lot to learn as well, right, myself right now. So yeah, so really, yeah, that's technology out. So that's sort of Logitech. It's fantastic. God, yeah, three cameras right now, yeah, and less than £1,000, £1,000. You can have YouTube, like it's a small video, small room, small corner of a small room. You can do that in the studio, and you could hear a laptop and everything, yeah, and it's just amazing, like, so and the internet is going to stay with us for a very long time, right? Yeah, just as the printing press was the first several hundred years, yeah. Now it's all digitized, yeah. But these things, so we are part of something that is going to stay with us for a long time. Everything's linked, yeah. All these new industries, everything is all depend on technology, otherwise the cost of it was so prohibitive right now, yeah, that this business, because all these businesses they're linked one to the next one, right? Like for instance, 3D technology, yeah, I mean, and the technology where you organic food, yeah, organic meat, another, oh yeah, some message. So I mean, when I see these things, I say, oh my god, best I see as little as possible. I've got to get my own boat, into the sea. Otherwise, because it's human. Like, you just get into this, and I forget to wake up in the morning. And it's been 2 days now. I haven't changed my socks. Yeah. No, the eyes not on. You need to literally do your own thing. I'm just giving as a sort of a layman example. It's not the socks, and I do change socks. Once a day, if not twice a day, but at least once a day. Yeah. Just a habit right now. Yeah. Not that my feet smelled. I was just oh, just, that's how I do it. Yeah. So normally this conversation right now would have been between friends and people, and you go out for a meal and chat. But nobody's interested. You see, nobody is. Nobody. And God knows online, it's just so many people. I've got somebody invite you for more to do some home cooking in locals. Yeah, it's from the app, right? Yeah. You see, but I know I have to do what I have to do. For the next 6 months, if I have to be like this, right, like just focus on one thing, get one thing at a time, because I know I've been to this situation before. I prepared, yeah, and then it's the wrong place to start all this place. It's not that I convinced myself it's the wrong place. It's just not practicable anymore. Yeah. So if you have all this Yahudi people stare at you, and I don't like people staring at me. Why would I stare at somebody if they're holding a camera? What is it? My business. Okay, that way. That's it. But some folks, so and really, this is the issue, that we find ourselves right now. Yeah? So it's urban living, I'm afraid to say. It's everywhere like this, right? More or less. Yeah. You see things, yeah, they say, oh, yes, of course. Well, a lot of the issues to do with people, all they know is what they know in the neighborhood, and and there is no deterrence, yeah, because you can sell the tags, yeah, when they come out of prison, like software, everything, multi-billion-dollar business, yeah. So if you done crime and do it again the same hour when you leave prison, then that goes to show its system doesn't work. The person thinks it's a joke, yeah, and it's just, you know, it, and these are the people keep the thing going, you see, yeah. And if you raise these questions, oh no, you're against us and all that, I'm at this job fair, and I said, oh, prison officers, oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go and look after you, my, yeah, but what? Doing things that I shouldn't know, and then and so like this, may follow a script. Not that I'm against people going to work in the prison system. I'm just saying I don't believe in the system anymore because this system, yeah, for most part, it is to serve the corporations. That's what it is. I mean, if somebody does, 100 times the same crime and still is given a badge of honor, literally, oh no, life is too hard for him. Oh no, is it? So it's like I go down, yeah, and I put my head in somebody like this, and that's assault. So then they prosecute me and everything, I done my punishment, yeah, and as soon as I release out of my punishment, whatever the punishment is, yeah, either well, assault is a criminal offense. So whatever the system deemed appropriate, yeah, and the following day once I done my, my uh, punishment, yeah, well, it could be like looking after the pigeons, like feed them like for 10 weeks, yeah, oh, yeah, that's yeah, community service, yeah, feed the people. So and and then the following day do it again. I'm just giving sort of this sort of examples that I don't want to put too many melodramatic, you know, uh, situation. Yeah, give that kind of example. So we see that type of system working the system goes, well, no, if you think this is a joke, this is not a joke, yeah. You just take you out of circulation from society, and I know this is going to be controversial, live somewhere else. But then please you decide, yeah. Maybe give them a palace or something, from the taxpayers' money. Oh yeah, that's for you, man. Can't touch anybody's head like this, yeah. So yeah, yeah, to declare, yeah. So that's what things go. So if you stop that, yeah, then you can walk the town and cities of Britain right now, yeah, and around the world right now, yeah, I can wear what? It's my liberty, right? Yeah. Why would I worry about some unknown person? Yeah, some from some other community, and that's what makes it worse. You don't know these people from your own cultural background. It's when so well, this person is abusing me. Look, yeah, and I'm not allowed to say anything right now, yeah. So really, yeah, these things right now, yeah, this type of system right now, yeah. When you look at the knot that ties the system right now, yeah, it's these big companies they make the money. I'm just giving an example of the tagging systems and how they think this works right now, yeah. When you look into all this system, well, no, you've done crime, and then we do the reform aspect because people, human beings, right now, yeah. Sometimes people fall astray, yeah, it happens. I accept that, fully, right? However, when you are sent to some kind of reform environment where you reform yourself and go back to do your own thing in your own life, yeah, and serve your, the punishment the society decide to give you. And that's it. But if you do it next day, say, well, the whole thing, it's like the Athenian republics, yeah, the Greek republics right now, yeah, several thousand years ago. The system, they in the beginning is perfect every day, but then you find out, everybody's a boss, yeah, and then everything just come and collapse. So same thing, you were living that type of system like that. Everybody's boss, oh my, who decided? I mean, no. So the narrative is those people behind bars. They said, oh no, we need this type of punishment. Well, that's a punishment, right? I don't mean people, you know, uh, you know, do anything bad to them, like yeah. I'm just saying, yeah, you should have a system where these people can't do it again. That system, society can decide those what those systems are, you know, through a vote, plebiscite, or whatever, yeah, or a public discourse, like that. But you can't just, it's a joke, yeah. it is a joke. People go out of their way not to start a family because there's this bad neighborhood, mate. You can't really do anything here because you don't know. You leave your family and you go to work, and see those things. That's how what people, how it's ended up right now. Yeah, I know. So yeah, so I see this lot of people like that. Yeah, I see they you know tell the sign of, oh yeah, they have, really, really, they can't say things on YouTube, but they say it. Some things, they just dilute it, lot, yeah. So they want to get the message across, yeah, somehow. But you can tell, they really, some of them really, they basically they don't like anybody else. They're only themselves. Yeah. So you have to put context, nuance to society. Yeah, that's just the way things are. Yeah. That's the thing. So, you have to have context. Yeah. So that then you could have it say and do something worthwhile to change things. To change things for the better. Yeah. But if you're, I mean, like the inflation now, the cost of living. Yeah. Well, the war in Ukraine. You know, because that part of the world, right? Yeah. They think about more than 30% or 35% of uh, uh, food stuff. Yeah, wheat, grain, you and other food matter. Yeah, issue of food. Yeah, they come from 35% upwards of 35%, Russia and Ukraine. So they feed the rest of the world, and so cost of food is gone up. So see how things work out right now. It's um, people are suffering. Yeah. So really, there are lots of things out there right now. Yeah. But it's so obvious. Yeah, the way the system is one day. Yeah. And in fact, you see what's happening in Germany right now. Yeah, with the stopping of energy supply from gas, LNG, liquefied natural gas. Yeah, from Russia. Yeah. While the previous government, the present government uh, in Germany, uh, they were very buddy with Russia. Yeah, and then they shut down all the nuclear power station and all that. And now they're hurriedly getting back and liquefied natural gas terminals. And you see, if you give up your natural advantages, the how yeah, my yeah, uh, can I use your football, yeah, because I need to win the game, but you're playing as well, but you want to win the game as well. Well, we can't do that way, yeah. Either you win or I win. I'm going to give you my football and to win. No, it doesn't matter. You have to get your own footballs. I mean, you don't give you all these natural advantages because what happened was, the big corporation came to the government of Germany. Oh yes, well, yeah. Oh, the greenhouse. Yes, that's all fine and good. No? But if you shut your, oh, hold on, I'm not rooting for nuclear power. I'm just going to make sure that clear. You know, but I'm saying like, yeah, you just don't. You have to have different sources. These things are done over decades. Yeah, yeah, and look, Germany would freeze. Yeah, if it's not Middle Eastern, energy supply. I mean, whole country. I mean, the whole nation of Germany would have been sent back 200 years, in development, and a lot of people. I mean, will freeze. I don't want to put any other words in it because it's human life. People. I don't want to use any other words. Yeah, because but you can see what I'm trying to say right now. Yeah, you know. Yeah, so really, these governments they just come, oh, no, yeah, I'm wearing lovely laces, it's politically correct laces. Oh yeah, and I'm talking about Angela Merkel. I'm not saying Angela Merkel. So yeah, Angela Merkel, yeah. But yeah. Uh, if you leave your door open, the wind will come in. You don't give up. You could have, as a nation state, let's put it there, you can't leave your society vulnerable like this. Somebody stop your energy supply. What are you going to do? You know, and it's always at the periphery. This societies around the world. They always kind of this and the other. Well, they just try to get distraction, like some kind of coup in Germany. I mean, these Keystone Cops coup in Germany. God, yeah. I mean, today's world, right? Yeah. I mean, Germany, right? Although they're a fairly new nation, right? Yeah, as far as 1871, I think, but they had this envy issue with Britain Empire, you know, other people's land, yeah, and they unlike Britain, right? They started about 100 years before them, right? 1871, so they maybe a bit more. Yeah. And so they rule these nations, yeah, agricultural nation, yeah, oh, India, and you know, although India at that time was industrialized. Yeah. If you look at the big cities of India at that time, factories still, I mean, they had the history right now. Yeah. If you look, in pictures going back to, the early times of camera right now, you say, oh my God, hey, look, the Mongols, they built big factories, foundries, and shipyards. You're building ships, trading all over the world. The Middle East, all over Asia, perhaps far as Africa, maybe to Europe as well, because at that time Europe wasn't developed, that much. Yeah. And so, see, it's this history, what it's, if you look, yeah, now you can see all these things right now, yeah. So hold on, they were developed as well one time right now, yeah. So they're trying to develop again and all that, yeah. But it was there. I mean, before anybody built ships in Britain right now, people in India were building ships in long time before that, right? But who ever talks about this sort of thing? You have to go into it because people's time is valuable right now, yeah. But then you find out to say, yeah, yeah, I mean, they had maritime empire far as Indonesia, so, but no, why would anybody talk about this? Because, oh yeah, you know. So these things are, yeah, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, I'm not still hungry. I had a good normal lunch, yeah, not overfill myself right now because, yeah, although it's intermittent fasting right now, yeah. At least I do 4 times a week now, yeah. But the rest of the weight has to come through sheer cardiovascular workout, because I can't eat so little food. Human being, you wouldn't be able to live on that much food right now. Yeah. I went to the site before, unfortunately, yeah. According to, oh, I look slim, everything, and all new clothes and all that. But if no energy, then your mind will be more tired and all that. Yeah. And this very desk, yeah, I used to. Then of course so you need to have energy to do things, yeah. Yeah. So if you work a whole day, you feel tired and you need to rest, yeah. If you get mail and all that, yeah. And so, but if you halfway, tea, coffee, yeah, and over preparation is because of those things that you feel like, you look at yourself, right? Yeah, so the energy issue, is, and it's all this is creating issues to do with future development, right? Yeah, of society, because it's borrowing all this money and everything, and to pay for these things, over the odds, for energy supply, yeah, and we can have, issues for years and years and years and years to come, right? Yeah. So, and this reminds me of something like that. I would not be in this situation. Yeah. I would not be in this situation where I am live, where I live in this building. My life would have been just like basically, just on a bicycle, and I'll just live, just make my life as I see fit. I mean, there's technologies out there, whatever job. You don't have to really, do a 9 to 5 job anymore, right now. There's other jobs out there, right now. Believe me, there's jobs out there. You just need to focus on that direction right now, yeah. So yeah, so I think it's 17 minutes to 9 in the evening on the 23rd of December 2022, and so I think I've said 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 29 seconds, and that's enough video right now. So good night and happy New Year.